I'd like to call the regular meeting to order. This is a work session of the mayor and council, and notice was given as follows. I'm sorry, regular session, my apologies. Sometimes I just read the script. Notice was filed on January 4, 2024 with the Bergen Record and Newark Star Ledger, both official newspapers of the borough. The notice was posted on the bulletin board at the Borough Hall and the Borough website. Copy is preserved in the clerk's office. I pledge allegiance, a moment of silence brought to you by Council Lee. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor King?
Here.
Council Lee? Here. Council King?
Yes.
Council Lee? Here. Council Min?
Here.
Council Victory?
Here.
Council Wanya? Yes. Borough Attorney Scott?
Here.
Borough Administrator Ray Hall?
Here. All right. Let's go straight with the introduction of ordinance.
Introduction of ordinance number 2024-12, bond ordinance for authorization for improvement of Palisades Boulevard Post 2.
Any questions, council members? All right. Second reading, please.
No.
Go ahead with the second reading.
Okay, second reading public hearing, ordinance. Ordinance 2024-8, ordinance number 300-41.4, multifamily residential in AA residential district and the retail.
Any questions on?
This is the one we're moving.
Yeah, this is the one that 2024-8.
Yes.
Where we would like to put this on table, please. Right now, this, huh?
What's that?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to put this on the table. Reason why being is the proper procedure that was stated by Councilor Roth is that the planning board have to meet with our borough planner, special attorney, and also the planning board attorney to get a consensus, a vote by the planning board to approve this before we brings it up to our ordinance. So we're still stuck in ordinance reading number 1, and we'll continue on after we go into, after they approve, doing the ordinance through second reading.
I'll make the
motion.
Good, first and a second, roll call.
Council Jen?
Yes.
Council Kim?
Yes.
Council Lee?
Yes.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Victory?
Yes.
Council Wanya?
Yes.
Okay,
Great.
the ordinance 2024-12, bond ordinance for authorization for improvement of, is second reading ordinance 2024-8, ordinance number 300-41.4, multifamily residential in AA residential district in the report. The ordinance was tabled.
Next ordinance, please.
Ordinance 2024-9, establishment of salary for year 2024.
We have our honorable CFO. Could you please come up to answer some of the council members' questions. Council members, any questions? No one has questions? Council Wanya, didn't you have a question concerning this?
I do have a question. The library, usually library board design, right? The range, the ordinance, the numbers here, range number here, for the library, position.
Yes.
Is that coming from them?
Yes, came from the library in January, and now we are codified.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a little confused here. Ordinance 2024-9 is supposed to be the establishments of salaries, correct?
Yes.
Not the range.
The range. There was range. Ordinance.
Okay, got it, thank you, thank you. Any questions on ordinance 2024-9?
No.
All right. And, somebody make a motion?
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2024-9.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I have a question. Don't we have to have a public hearing before we vote?
Oh, wait a minute, we do have to have a public hearing.
Yes.
Counselor, thank you very much. Thank you for counting that. May I have a motion to have an open meeting, public meeting concerning passing the second reading of ordinance 2024-9?
I wanna make a motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Guys, you have 3 minutes concerning questions or comments concerning specifically on ordinance 2024-9. Yes, please, come up, your name and address.
Very, very fast. Susan Brown, 50 Indian. This is salary ranges, not actual individual salaries,
Mhm.
so it's ranges, and you've been through it and it's fine. That's all, thank you.
Anybody else? May I have a motion to close the public participation for ordinance 2024-9?
I wanna make a motion.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. May I have a motion to pass ordinance 24-9?
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2024-9.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Counselor Jen? Yes. Counselor Kim?
Yes.
Counselor Lee?
Yes.
Counselor Min?
Yes.
Counselor Vitry?
Yes.
Counselor Wanya?
Yes.
Notice is hereby given that the foregoing ordinance 2024-9 was approved for final adoption by the Mayor Council of the Borough of Palisades Park at a regular meeting held on June 24th, 2024 at 6 p.m. A copy of the ordinance will be posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Hall and will be available at the office of the Borough Clerk.
Thank you. Next ordinance, please.
Ordinance 2024-10, amendment of chapter 84 entitled alcohol beverage to modify the permissible hours for sale, delivery, and the acceptable forms of identification and maximum fines for violation within the borough.
Thank you. We had quite a few in-depth discussion about this. That was productive. Any more additional questions or comments, council members?
I do.
Please.
If I can ask the attorney if I'm understanding this right. This applies to taverns also?
Yes.
Okay, so at 10 o'clock, a tavern stops. In other words, if I got off work at 10 o'clock, I walked into the tavern, and I wanted to buy a six-pack to go home, I can't do that?
No, you'd have to consume it on premises. That would be an off-premise consumption sale, and that's limited, and they'd have to close those sales at 10 p.m.
You do realize that years ago, they had this same thing, the state, where 10 o'clock, and they would be selling containers of beer.
Is that a legal question?
That's what I'm asking.
I mean, I've reviewed this ordinance, I've provided my opinion to mayor and council that the ordinance complies with all the laws of the state.
Okay, but if the tavern, if I go into a tavern,
Yeah,
and he had a container, it would be plastic container, not plastic, it used to be cardboard wax. And you could buy after 10 o'clock, you could buy a container of beer, it would be a quart container of beer.
not to leave the premises, not if it's after 10.
Two different types of licenses, if I'm correct, ABC. If you, just to align your question, maybe you could answer it. Police director, are you here? Yeah, could you please come up and, maybe clarify his questions? I know what he's saying, but I don't think there's anything illegal according to the state. He's talking about back in the days, the tavern, which is only for in-premise sale, saying that they used to back in the days put it in cardboards, I have no idea, six packs, and then just sell it outside. Does that affect that too, you say?
Yeah, they can't sell it. That would be, any sales that they do, they can't sell after 10 o'clock.
For in-premises and out-premises?
Well, no.
Well,
no, I'm
On
sorry.
premise too.
On-premises 10, yeah, 2 AM.
has anybody spoken to any of the tavern owners? Because I believe you're gonna have a lot of appeals on this from the tavern owners.
Right, we had this conversation, there was a thought between two good points. One saying that we should get the Chamber of Commerce involved, we should, get those input involved. And the other, the Councilwoman Lee said that is granted, however, we're here to take care of the best interests of the residents here first. And that would definitely reduce the being drunk on after hours and, whole chain of issues, car accidents and whatnot. So we know about this.
Can I make one comment?
Yes, please go ahead.
So I did have a chance to speak to the president of the Chamber of Commerce. So
A little loud, please.
I did have an opportunity to speak to the president of the Chamber of Commerce. So they are on notice. So if they have anything to say, they're free to come tonight and share their opinions. And second thing that I wanna mention is the reason why we distinguish between off-premise consumption, which means you take the alcohol with you and drink it wherever you want to drink it, versus on-premise consumption, is that when you're drinking on-premise, the business owner of that premise is responsible for the reasonable care of the people who are in their premise. So that's the distinguishing feature between the two types of consumption.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes.
The president of the Chamber of Commerce, is he a tavern owner?
Why is that relevant?
Why is it relevant? Because if he's a
He
tavern
does
owner.
not only represent the tavern owners, he should be
I
representing all of the
understand
business
that, but if
owners.
somebody owns a tavern, they have a right, did he explain it to all the tavern owners? Just because you're president of the Chamber of Commerce, a person that owns a tavern would understand it more, because it's gonna affect his livelihood.
So as a business owner in Palisades Park, I think it's also their responsibility to participate in activities like Chamber of Commerce and be part of the community if they want to be on notice of all the things that are going on in town.
Okay, I see more lawsuits coming after this.
Okay,
Like that.
Counselor, Counselor Vitri said there's gonna be a lawsuit coming after this. I wanna ask you again, and you did answer, I wanna make it clear, that under industry statute and also ABC rules and regulations, we are under compliance by doing this, correct?
This is in compliance with the rules and regulations outlined by the state statutes and the laws.
And Councilman Vitri, you are also on notice of this ordinance for 2 months now. You could have told the tavern owner to come tonight and
Yeah.
share their opinion.
You're
But we're
making
trying
it-
to
you're
have a
making the-
conversation. This
You're
is not a-
presenting this, I'm not presenting this. You're making the presentation.
But I'm saying
giving
you are
my
on, you are
opinion.
on notice.
All right, guys,
of the
thank you.
ordinance.
I think we got this, but I wanna make sure on record that the proposition and opinion of the two council members said that, you should have talked with for, store owners or the Chamber of Commerce. I think the Chamber of Commerce was the fastest way to do it, especially when we're in our second reading. It was this, how about you don't talk, how come you didn't talk to the tavern is additional request. I just wanna make a note of that, but both of them have a very good point. Anybody else? All right, may I have a motion to close and open to the public?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, may I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye, great. You guys have 3 minutes concerning this specific ordinance about reducing the alcohol's, time hours for Palisades Park. Come up, your name and address.
Marcia Shore, 50 Henry Avenue. Does this mean that bars have to close at 10 a.m., 10 p.m.?
No, can I answer?
Yes, please, go ahead.
The bars, they sell alcohol for on-premise consumption, right? So that would not be subject to the 10 p.m. rule, but rather 2 a.m. rule. So after 2 a.m., they will not be able to sell alcohol at the bars.
Because I know we had an ordinance, I assume you read it, that bars had to close from 3 to 6. But it never said anything about, let's say someone gets off the bus and they wanna buy a six-pack and take it home, they just come home from work. They can't now walk out of a grocery store or a bar with a six-pack? That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. These hours are not, it's not like we're reinventing the wheel. It's only, these hours are actually enforced in many other towns. And I think there's a reduction of how many hours? 1 hour.
For bars.
Yeah, for bars. We're just trying to curb the excessive amount of drunk people outside, people who wanna go for that extra beer around 10 o'clock, after 10 o'clock. And it's only for off-premise, what call it, thing. On-premise, you can do until, what time was it, 2?
Until 2 AM.
Until 2
And
a.m.
we're not saying.
Which is very similar to other towns where they're doing it. Matter of fact, it encourages because other surrounding towns are enforcing the same thing that we're trying to establish, because we have the extra hour, there is a reason to believe that people that wanna drink come to our town for that extra hour.
Yeah, we're not saying there will not be any, adverse consequence as a result of this. We're saying there are more benefits that we
But what
need to
happens if
look
you
up.
walk into the bar, drink there, walk out for a little bit, and walk back into the bar again to drink?
That's on premise,
That's on premise.
They can do it?
Yes.
In other words-
As long as they're not too drunk. If they're drunk and swerving away and say, give me another shot, bartender, they should stop it. This is one of the reasons why we have the resolutions for reprimanding. So,
And they recommend it, but do the bars have to adhere to it?
Oh, yes.
So in other words, during the afternoon, they can buy all the six-packs they want?
well, unless they're not too drunk to buy more. But the thing is, there's a confusion. You don't usually go to a tavern or bar nowadays to buy a six-pack in a box. You go there to drink. So there's a little bit of the way people drink, it has been changed.
But isn't it safer if someone were to buy a six-pack and drink in their own home rather than walk?
Then you wouldn't go to the bar, you would go to the off-premise, take it out from the
The
drink.
problem we're trying to address is people who go into the liquor store and drink on street. Or they drink in their car and cause problems in our town. We're not trying to address people who are just trying to, have a drink at home. They could drink, they could buy the alcohol during the regular hours. They
No,
don't
the
need
point
to.
I'm trying to make is if they come home late, they can't even buy the beer to drink at home.
How late are we talking about? How often do we come when it says 10 o'clock versus 11 o'clock?
You would be surprised, Paul, you don't frequent bars much,
Well,
do you?
well, I understand your point of view.
Can they buy earlier?
Is that it? All right,
Yeah, I
thank
was
you.
just gonna say, in other words, on our holidays, like Christmas and Thanksgiving, New Year's.
Other towns are doing it.
There are
Other towns are
exceptions,
doing
there are
it.
exceptions
Excuse me?
for the holidays.
For the holidays?
Yeah, for Sundays, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, there are exceptions.
There are exceptions during special holidays. Thank you. Anybody else concerning this, please come up, name and address.
Medical Potter for Glen Avenue. Really excited to see this in place. I'm happy that it's approval. I'm been looking how our town is become of drunk people in the street, and I've been coming here and, concerned about that. Hopefully this is a light at the dark that we've been having with this. I'm very happy to see that we are coming with some plan for the problem that we're going on. And, if you're gonna drink, it's 10 o'clock, you're gonna plan and buy it in advance, if you're really gonna drink at your home. So that's not gonna prevent some people to have a party, we're gonna plan in advance. I think this is a great way to people not to come, just walk in and drink and leave the can, the bottle, and be drunk, and we have to take it to the emergency room. I'm really happy about this, and great job, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, may I have a motion to, please call them up.
Public,
It's only for the ordinance on alcohol beverages 2024-10. Good. May I have a motion to close the public, for public participation?
I want to make a motion to close public participation.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to pass ordinance 2024-10 alcoholic beverages?
I want to make a motion to pass 2024-10.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Great, roll call.
Council Jen?
Yes.
Council Kim?
Yes.
Council Lee?
Yes.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Victory?
No.
Council Von Yun?
Yes.
Notice is hereby given that the foregoing ordinance 2020-10 was approved for final adoption by the Mayor Council of the Borough of Palisades Park at a regular meeting held on June 24, 2024 at 6 p.m. A copy of the ordinance will be posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Hall and will be available at the office of the Borough Clerk.
Thank you. Last but not least, ordinance, please.
Ordinance 2024-11, further amendment of chapter 84 entitled Alarm Devices to modify the application fee to each owner of an alarm system within the borough.
We had this discussion before. Any additional questions, comments? All right. May I have a motion to close and open to the public?
Make a motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Thank you. You have 3 minutes concerning specifically on ordinance 2024-11 entitled Alarm Devices. Going once. Going twice. So, may I have a motion to close the public session?
I wanna make a motion to close the public session.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to pass ordinance 2024-11?
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2024-11.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Council Jen?
Yes.
Council Kim?
Yes.
Council Lee?
Yes.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Victory?
Yes.
Council Von Yun?
Yes.
Notice is hereby given that the foregoing ordinance 2024-11 was approved for the final adoption by the Mayor Council of the Borough of Palisades Park at a regular meeting held on June 24, 2024 at 6 p.m. A copy of the ordinance will be posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Hall and will be available at the office of the Borough Clerk.
Thank you, Borough Clerk. Let's move on for the consent agenda.
Okay, resolution 2024-161, Drew, resolution 2024-191.
Any questions or concerns, council members? Counselor, would you like to explain indeed, some clarifications for the council members before we decide on resolution 2024-162? Sorry.
Yeah, we have a hearing scheduled for tonight for a liquor license violation. Earlier today, there was an email that I sent to the clerk that was forwarded to all the mayor and council regarding a possible resolution of this matter. So I would ask the council to please comment now. Let us know if you would agree and consent to resolve it as recommended. And if so, we can proceed to get Mr. John and his client out of here quickly if that's possible.
Thank you, Counselor. Would you be so kind to summarize? There's lots of pages. I did review it, but then it is a little bit dense for, because we weren't working on this on the work session. What our recommendations? What are our recommendations for this?
Recommendations would be to accept the guilty plea from the liquor license holder, which would be stayed pending submission to the ABC, and the ABC would be requested to implement a financial penalty as opposed to a suspension of a license for a maximum of 15 days, which is what's currently, which the license holder is currently facing at this time.
Thank you. What is the reasoning why you don't want to implement suspension days?
Oh, based upon, number one, this is not a paper violation, this is an actual observation violation where the license holder is charged with serving an intoxicated person. So the proof level and the requirement, the effort, the cost on the part of the borough in having that hearing would be somewhat expensive, time consuming, and so on. It is typically done that a license holder who is facing his first and second violation, this would be the first violation for this license holder, would be generally offered this type of an accommodation. And it would also work out for the benefit of the license holder not to have to shut down for 15 days, which would be an economic difficulty. But would also inure to the benefit of the borough to receive some compensation for the violation.
So council, we are following public procedures and letting ABC handle that portion.
Yes, that's the way it works. ABC decides the monetary amount.
Thank you. Could you speak a
And
little louder, please?
I'm sorry, yes, I did discuss this with the prosecutor, Carlton, he does agree. We discussed it, we both came to the same conclusion.
Any questions, council members?
I have a question. So, the reason why this is proposed as a resolution is because of settlement. Am I
No.
right?
No, typically there would be hearing.
Okay, yeah,
So-
so they violate, so there is a hearing, but why that actually coming as a resolution here? So what do we approve? Isn't that the normal procedure is, when they violate something, there is some police report, and then they go to prosecutor office or whatever, or court, and they decide.
Well, it's,
So-
I'm sorry, counsel.
Yeah, so I'm just, asking a question, clarifying. I need a clarification of why this is coming to the, governing body as a resolution. What am I missing?
Okay, ABC liquor license violations are, the jurisdiction is before the mayor and council to decide whether or not to, the hearing would be before the mayor and council, so the hearing would be here, it wouldn't be in the municipal court.
Oh, I see.
So the decision is whether or not we wanna hold the hearing, have the municipal prosecutor come with all his witnesses and present the testimony, have the defendant present their testimony, and go through that long process. Or we can resolve it upfront in a way that I believe is economically feasible and amicable and judicious.
I got it.
Because it's their first, strike.
Correct.
And we use our first strikes, we don't give them suspension of sales due to the ABC. Any other questions concerning the resolutions? There's a lot here, guys. Oh, yes, geez. Counselor, I would like to make a motion to table as well the resolution 178, which is the authorization of borough phone line system repair and maintenance. We're still in the midst of trying to figure things out. We finally found out who installed those old, wiring systems. So we need to, the borough BA and the facilities manager, and they have to meet with, the service provider to find out if you could fix it, and also the details of how we, are inclined, by agreement, we're inclined to install new equipment. So there's a lot of questions that the governing body would like to ask. So I'd like to make a motion to table this.
Which 178?
178, thank you.
Should we vote on this?
No, table. Yeah, I need a motion.
Yeah,
Would you like to start the
yeah,
motion?
I'll make a motion to table resolution 2024-178.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Council Chen,
Yes.
Council Kim,
Yes.
Council Lee,
Yes.
Council Min,
Yes.
Council Vitri,
Yes.
Council Won Yu.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2024-178 was tabled.
Is there anything that we have to table else?
I
Table
have a
the-
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, our 162 is done.
No, I need to know from mayor
Right.
and council whether or not there's
There will be
an agreement to
Okay.
approve the settlement or not.
All right, so then, actually, I wanna make a motion, to take it as, what's the guide,
To the settlement?
To the
To
settlement?
accept the settlement?
yes, for
We'll vote on
162.
that, yeah. We're talking about the alcohol, right?
Yes,
Okay,
one
great.
62.
So we'll put it all together at the end. Any other questions about the resolutions? Council Won Yu, did you have a question concerning
Someone needs to second it?
no, we're still working on the consent agenda.
Okay. Then I wanna go to, my question for 164.
164. Medicare Part B coverage
Oh, no,
reimbursement.
160, I'm sorry.
Give me 5.
165 is the salary or compensation
Oh,
for
yes,
employees
yes.
2024.
165, yes.
Our CFO still here? Is there any questions concerning that?
All right, I found out, about, yes. For the library salary, actually, the library director's salary has gone up 11.11%. Last year, the salary was 92,700, and this year it is 103,000. So, and also, there's a library employee 6, the distribution board. It was $29,493.89, and this year it became 34,000, which is not so much amount, but the increase was 15%, 28%. So, when, you know, Miss Won Yoon, Councilwoman asked you a question about like how the salaries work for the library, they are executing it since January 1st, right?
Right, there would be the exception that you just announced, that would be the director's salary, which is a contract. It is not a contractual with the white collar, if I may.
The contract, sorry to interrupt, but the contract is right now being worked upon, correct?
And the contract comes from the library board, which is autonomous.
And also the attorney.
And their attorney.
And they know
What
that
we
there's a-
do here is we disclose to the public those salaries in the ordinance. We do not have input in that say.
I see, okay.
They're
Just
working,
question, so-
they're, as far as I could know, that they will follow the rules of what everybody's getting. There shouldn't be any, in the new contract, it shouldn't be 15-20% or what you mentioned, it should be all
I mean, you know,
equal,
I just have a
3%.
question, because
Sure.
usually, the school boards, even to the superintendents, if we set up for 3% increase for the whole teachers, directors, supervisors, and, principals, vice principals, and even to the superintendent, when we say 3% increase, it's applying to everyone, universally. So for the library, did we get a new director for the library?
No, I believe this is the third year of, or the fourth year of the contract. So it's in the contract, it was before you or even I myself was involved with the library.
So then, when they have a special contract saying, they will have 11.11% increase every year or something like that, it should be.
It should be disclosed, which it is here, and again, it's because of the contract for the individual. The workers themselves follow, most of the time, if I may, the white collar contract.
I see.
And that was why I made that statement of 3%, and I stand behind it, with the exception, of course, with the director.
Councilwoman Won Yoon.
Yeah, director, library director contract, according to contract, is a 3%. But looks like last December, the board has decided, and she must have did a great job, and to increase this 11%. And that was, informed to the borough, right? So, the CFO and our finance folks, they just follow what the board decide.
I see, okay. With
So
respect,
the
thank you
process
so
wise
much.
is all, that's the process.
Okay,
But
thank you so
something
much.
that I like to propose though is, the library folks is already, their salary with the increase is already effective since January. While the borough's employees, they are actually will be effective after we vote, right?
So
Is this something that we can align? Can we ask them to align?
Council Won Yoon and Council Jan realized that in the library, all their contract end and start at the same time. Yeah, so trying to figure out if we could all align them together when they create their new contract with our schedule.
That'll be up to the library board, not us.
Yeah, so we can ask, we
Sure.
can request to the library.
We're the liaisons to the library, of course you
Yeah.
can.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so.
You are the liaison, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, with this, recommendation from the governing body, I'm gonna actually talk to them. So even if their decision made in, December, and it will be effective same time as the volunteers, employees.
Good,
Okay,
thank you.
all right,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Roy.
much.
Any more questions on 165? Because after this, Roy's gonna go. So 165, the bills, the claims, and also the range. We're all good with that right now? The range just been passed. So we just gotta do the exact salary. We're okay with 165?
Everything else is fine.
Oh, I have a question. There is no, salary, basic salary for borough.
There you go. We forgot about that. Could you please explain?
So, Mr. CFO, from this list, even though we don't have a person, fill that position, we still see that salary, but except the borough clock.
What happened was on the exact salary, designation of salary,
Right?
we forgot to put in a slot for borough clerk. It was never, that position was never abolished. It should be part of it, that's what she's saying on this
You
one.
can always amend that, Mayor.
Yeah, just put it in.
Do a resolution. I actually amend it right now. We do an amendment.
Can we do an amendment right now? Sure. To add the salary for, the base salary for the borough clerk.
Sure. We know what the range is for the salary.
Could you give us the range later?
Yeah.
What is, do you know right
The
now?
range is.
Yeah, we have.
50K.
Okay, Maria, what's the range we could amend it right now?
The
Put it on
range,
record.
the borough clerk salary is in the ranges in the salary ordinance, but we don't currently have a borough clerk. Those are for all the ranges, that's why it's not in there, but it is in the ranges, so when you hire someone,
So we just amend.
So it's a two separate
Amend the
things.
list.
Right, so the base salary, right? You don't see it in here, but
Right.
you do see it in the base salary.
Range.
So it's still in this.
It's in the
this,
budget.
The -9 ordinance.
Yes.
Or when we have chance to hire later on down the future, right?
We'll
it's
come
no
out
problem
again.
to put, to hire, so.
Let's use
Yeah.
salaries.
Yeah, got it.
And again, you can always do a resolution and amend the, ordinance as well.
We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why we did the range, Mayor,
Understood.
two and separate. That's why you have that control.
Thank you. We were wrong. Sorry, CFO.
Good.
All right, I think you guys are good. Could the finance department be excused? Everybody okay with finance? Finance questions for this month? Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night. Any more questions concerning the consent resolutions?
Yes, I have one on 170,
170,
and I have one on 182.
170, and 172. Okay, please go ahead, Council Petrie.
Well, first of all, I'd like to find out if the police director has any kind of writing in like the chief of police, if you go into the police manual, it'll tell you the chief of police is responsible for this, that.
Mhm.
Captain is in charge of doing this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
Along lieutenant, a sergeant, patrolman. Is there any rules and regulations that the police director has in writing?
Thank you for the
That's
question.
number one.
Yeah, what's the number two?
The number two is, I understand that the hiring of a police records clerk. But I don't understand the assistant to the police director without any kind of rules, regulations that he has to follow. And
Okay,
it
so-
doesn't make sense because the chief on down to the patrolman has a schedule that he has to follow.
Okay,
I'd just like to know, does he have it? If he doesn't, I
okay.
think you should, and also the hiring of a police clerk, $42,000. The records clerk, I understand, but the assistant to the, police director,
Okay, good. Those are very good questions, Council Petrie. I firmly, concerning your question about roles and responsibilities or duties for the director, Mike Ricci, has no relevance to resolution 170. However, the directors over here to come here and explain, to answer that question concerning, do you know your duties and responsibilities and roles as a director? Because the chief should know as well. That has no relevance to resolution 2024-170. To answer the question about 2024-70 first, BA Ray here, would you like to say something, because you are the head manager here, why you think that the director needs a secretary, part-time secretary, and after that, I would like the director to come up and explain by himself why he needs it. Thank you.
Well, I believe that this person should be hired, and it's gonna serve two dual purposes. One is the records clerk, which is definitely needed, and also the workload that the police director has, and it will be expanded, needs an assistant for that position too. And that will only be on a part-time basis, that's not gonna be the majority of the work. The majority of the work is the clerk, but the police director will be expanding his duties.
Understood. Police director, would you come over here and explain the reason why that you request that you need a part-time secretary? I know you need youth, and also, like Ray, the VA stated, what are you expanding of your roles and your responsibilities? Thank you.
Well, the assistant to me is gonna have a number of tasks. One of the tasks is gonna be, I'm looking at getting the department accredited, and I want this person to spearhead the accreditation. I talked with our insurance carriers, they're willing to front the money for accreditation, which will, once we get accredited, we'll have insurance savings, which will pay them back through that savings, so there'll be no out-of-pocket costs to the Bureau. Second of all, I want this individual to do research. As you know, the contract for the collective bargaining agreement with the patrolmen and sergeants, captains, and lieutenants is expiring at the end of this coming year. I want this person to start doing research as far as different terms and conditions of employment in the contract that we may want to look at changing or proposing in the collective bargaining agreement for the end of the year. Since the police director is a part-time position, I thought it was best to give tasks like that to the records clerk. That's why the records clerk has a college degree, is under requirements, and has the ability to research and has to deal with police departments before.
Stop right there for a second. Could I ask you this? This clerk has police experience?
This clerk has previous police experience, researching chief contracts.
Okay, but he was a police officer?
No,
Wasn't a police?
no, you don't need to be a police officer to investigate police officer contracts. I did it for 30 years.
Yeah, I can understand. Okay,
All right.
go ahead.
That's it.
And how about the rules and regulations that you have to follow?
That's the secondary question that, I'm sorry to interrupt, that has no relation with the resolution. He's asking you a separate question about, do you know your rules and regulations and roles and responsibilities as a director?
The roles of the director, if you look at your ordinance and you look at the borough code, it outlines the duties and responsibilities of the director.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Any more questions for the police director? Thank you. Any more questions about the resolutions, consent resolutions? 182, yes, go ahead with 182.
This is to redo the
Yes.
borough website?
Yes, it was, 172 is, that's not it, that will be the roof asbestos. The borough website will be. 182. Yes, as we explained this before, go ahead.
And my question is, for
182.
him to do all of this person or this individual, looks like a person, costing us $12,000?
Yes, we're gonna save tons of money, we're gonna take full control, and the expediency and how we could have control and also make it more streamlined and more efficient, and it will be much less costly than the current service deal that we have with the vendor, outside vendor. What this is gonna create is, we're gonna have control of our own website, it won't cost any money, instead of the current vendor which require money to change content. For example, on average, the current vendor costs about $30,000 just to change context and revamp the website and being a webmaster. You could do it for a very nominal price for the upfront fee, and then after that, it will cost maybe a couple $100 a month. So we're saving a lot of money. And we're having control of our own website, which also opens up the fact that there's other websites in the borough that's really not implemented into our main websites, such as the recreation, police, or whatever. Yeah, we could definitely implement that if possible. So it's efficient, cost effective, we save money. Thank you. Any more questions concerning the resolutions? May I have a motion to approve the resolution? Oh, you go ahead.
Resolution 2024-161 through Resolution 2024-191, except Resolution 2024-178.
Thank you, that was tabled. Yep. May I have a motion?
Make them.
You guys are on top of each other. So,
Who's gonna be?
he's a passenger on this side, first and a second.
Lady first.
Thank you, ladies. Roll call.
Council Jang?
Yes.
Council Kim?
Yes.
Council Lee?
Yes.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Victory?
I'm voting yes and no on resolution 170-182.
170, 182.
182, yes. And the one, Council Won Yoon?
I say yes, except 166, and I'll say no on 166.
166, and what else?
That's it.
Just Reso 166, no. Okay, so how do we do this? Counselor, if they take out no's, how do we vote on this?
In the resolution, I'm gonna mark down.
Yeah, they give them individual resolutions, but they all pass.
Of the majority?
Yes.
Okay, on record, got it. Okay, council reports. Council One, you would you like to start first?
We had a library board meeting, and now we have a new carpet for the twin and for children and between kids and little children. We have a separate area now. So they actually clean up all the mold issue, which is under the old carpet, and then they fix it, and then new carpet has been installed. So it looks pretty nice. So please do that. That's all.
Thank you very much. Good news. Council Beechey?
No report at this.
Thank you. Council? What?
Council Kim.
Oh, Council Kim, totally forgot you.
That's right, thanks for giving me.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. I have nothing to report this time, thank you.
So you got nothing to report, thank you. Councilman?
Okay, I'm actually working with the police department, for the traffic plan, which is gonna be involved, better view coming from, you know where all the accident happening right now. One of those, area where the most accident is involving right now. So myself and a director, police chief and a captain, and including the road superintendent, Mr. Grella, went to those areas, trying to find out what's the remedy to get a better view. So we're working on a traffic plan right now to get those vehicles get a better view where they're trying to cross south to north, north to south. Those incoming traffic from east to west, you barely can see some of those streets. So we're working on a plan right now. So I'll probably get that plan completed by the next month's work session, maybe. I'll do my best, trying to get that thing done.
Thank
So
you,
that's my
thank you.
report.
That would definitely ease the multiple accidents that we have in dangerous intersections.
Yeah, we were gonna wait for the county report, but it might as well, whatever we can done from the borough side, not waiting for the county to get the answer for us, let's get it done. So we're
Good
waiting.
idea,
Yep.
thank you. We've been waiting for the county report for too long.
Yep.
It's been about a year or so. I give up on them already. Thank you very much, Council. Council Jang.
Yes, I invited, Mr. Ken Bruno,
Kenny Bruno.
yeah, from DPW Superintendent,
Great.
yeah. he's going
Kenny
to give
Bruno is
us
our
a report.
superintendent. Please come up and give us a nice report. Even you got a clap from John Min.
All right. Few subjects we wanted to touch on. One was street signs. We've had a lot of street signs. We, in fact, did replace 17 signs the first 15 days of this month. Those include alternate side parking, stop signs. In addition to that, we just ordered 31 name signs for the streets. Okay, we identified with the help of John Gralla as well and other people what street signs were missing, okay? The process took a little longer than we thought because each sign has a different holder for the top to place 2 signs. So by the time we got the hardware, they said it should be delivered within 3 weeks, okay? And we'll start assembling them. Second thing is, the mayor and council asked me to look for power washing for Broad Avenue, because some of these sidewalks are pretty tough. We have a company recommended by the town of Fort Lee, meeting me Thursday, and we're gonna take a walk through Broad Avenue, let them give us a price, and I'll give it to Councilwoman Jang, you know, to bring up here. We're also putting more garbage containers on Broad Avenue, okay? The DPW picks up the garbage every morning, okay? But we have a guy out there blowing every day, the loose garbage. So with the mayor and council ordered more garbage containers. They'll have them delivered to the DPW, and then we'll work with Councilman Chang as to where to place them. Also, they ordered more benches. So for the people on Broad Avenue, sometimes you can go a pretty good distance without a place to sit down, okay? But we have the benches out here. They ordered some nice looking benches. Again, they'll come to the DPW. Also, the mayor has instructed us, and again, has ordered planters, okay? Which kind of beautifies the avenue. We have them out here, but again, all along Broad Avenue. Really trying to just enhance Broad Avenue. Some people probably noticed that we have the 125th anniversary signs up, okay? And we have flags. Every other one is an alternate, is an American flag, because we have the 4th of July coming up. Let's see. Also, this is a pretty good one. Public Service was in my office about 2 weeks ago. And Public Service, what they're coming to do, starting the 1st of July till the end of the year, is starting on Broad Avenue, going all the way to 14th Street. Every tree that's in the power lines, they're cutting it below the power line. That's gonna really help us because when hurricane season starts, you get a lot of trees come down. One tree comes down, can take out 10, 15 houses for power. So again, you're gonna see them starting the 1st of July, Monday to Friday. You know, they didn't give you an exact time, but generally the way they're gonna do it is when you have the no parking in front of your house for that 4 hours, they'll be working on that block, okay? So that's where we are pretty much right now. Again, anybody who has any questions for the DPW, please, I mean, you can just reach out to us. You know, some of the people here have reached out to us. Our number's online. So all I can say is if you have any questions or comments or need anything done, just pick up the phone.
Can we ask
Thank you.
questions?
No, you still have to wait. The public participation will come out. Okay, Mr. Bruno, if you can't wait, if you could wait, during public participation so you can answer some questions. Not right now, madam. I'd just like to add one more thing. Did you mention about the beta project for Highland, how we're gonna draw lines, please?
I'm sorry, that's one thing I did forget, good thing you reminded me. What they did was they had a borough engineer go out and to do a beta test for parking spaces. If you notice now, parking spaces, especially on Highland Avenue, which is the first block they're doing, they're trying to maximize the parking spaces by lining them, okay? Usually that would be something that would fall under the DPW, but my recommendation to the mayor was, we don't have the proper equipment. What they do is, they roll the line down, then they torch it. It lasts 2, 3, 4 years. Whereas if we paint it, as soon as we put salt on it, it'll be gone. So we'll be doing it every year. But the beta test is gonna be on Highland Avenue, okay? Oh, and one other thing also, we've identified some streets with the mayor's help that they're gonna repave. That's in the process now. It's still with Steve Palazzo, the borough engineer, to put out all the specs. Okay, so,
Thank you.
all right?
Concerning why we have to address it with Steve Colazzo, our engineer, and also our CFO and the governing body, is that in the past practice, we don't want to increase the taxpayers' money, so what we do is every year, we would try to find applicable grants, whether from DOT or whatnot, to pave roads, so we could, lessen the burden of taxpayers' money. But there are certain roads that do not qualify ever for DOT grants to repave roads, such as dead ends. We're stacking up on quite a few dead ends, and everybody's a taxpayer, everybody needs to be represented. So we need to find out with the CFO and also the engineer, which one we could apply for grants, which not, we're gonna have to find other means to finance it, because those guys been behind a long time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and I still have to go on.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. And actually, we had a problem when we had an agenda meeting. A couple of residents came and said,
Yes.
some houses are really out of, care. So some weeds are growing, and they don't really care about their loans. So I sent an email, and Mr. Gralla replied, and he said he's been issuing the tickets, and many houses got it, but he cannot really go to the lawn mowing, or he cannot help anything by himself. So he's giving out the tickets, and the house owners, he was asking me to tell at the meeting that he does his job very well. I'm sure that under this heat, with the hot days, he's going around still looking into many different houses, if they're taking care of their houses, and our town's beautification matters. But all he could do is issuing the ticket and bring them to the court. But as of a resident, please take care of your house, and around your house, clean the garbages, the large ones especially. Some of the houses, he sent me pictures, and it looked really horrible, So, and I don't know how we can further enforce, our rules and regulations for beautifying each houses, but please take care of your house, around your house. And DPW, as Mr. Bruno said, we're going to cut the trees down for safety matters, and everything will be publicly taken care of too. So I'm really thankful for Mr. Gralla. He's doing his best work as well. And also for the town pool, thank you so much, Mayor. We made a good rooftop for the pavilion and the pump house that was really behind for the work for many years. And also today, finally, we're making the deal with the snack bar. So hopefully these people will do a good job and open the snack bar ASAP. And Karen, the pool manager, did a great job, and she already overachieved the sales as well, for the revenue for pool. That was 25,000 more achieved than last year at this time. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to really add, it's not my doing, it's actually Council Jen that actually proactively bugged the crap out of me, making sure the pool snack bar opens this year. I want to congratulate you. Just one more thing, if you don't mind, because you're part of DPW. There's a, do you remember